Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Root of Our Health podcast. I am your host, Elizabeth, a national board certified health and wellness coach, a certified functional medicine health coach, and currently working as an employee wellness coach. Each and every other week at this point, I will be talking about topics that has to do with alternative health and wellness for women as we celebrate the second half of our lives. These episodes will range from solo to interviewing professionals in the space, as well as getting to know everyday people like you so that we can implement simple, bite-sized habit in our daily lives that will help us thrive. Now, in today's episode is part 2 of the how to thrive in life using a nighttime and morning routine. So, last time, a couple weeks ago, we talked about the nighttime routine, how to set yourself up to have better sleep. And today, we are definitely going to be talking about that part 2. Once we get that better sleep, we definitely need that morning routine to set us up to thrive for the day. First off, I want to kind of tell you I'm wearing red today. The release of this podcast is on February 13th. Sure, it is Galentine's Day. Galentine's. Happy Galentine's to everybody, and happy Valentine's to everybody as well. So now, just kicking it off, I really want to recap a little bit about the nighttime routine. Again, setting yourself up, having that cutoff time with all of your technology, the either TV, the computer, laptop, phone, all of that, social media, cut that off at least 30 minutes to an hour before you go to bed. And then do some sort of winding down. So I'm not talking about having a glass of wine, because having a glass of wine may help you go to sleep, but it definitely does not help you stay asleep. It basically raises your blood sugar level or your blood level, your blood pressure. And you are just tossing and turning all night. And yeah, definitely not helpful. But another healthier way to wind down and get you, set up is to take magnesium. Definitely helps calm that nervous system. Speaking of calming nervous system, you can also do some sort of meditation if that helps at night. We'll talk about how that's also going to help in the morning. And, reading, things like that, taking a bath, things that really calm you down. If you want to listen to calmer music, I sometimes listen to some nighttime jazz. Yes, it's on YouTube on the TV, but it also helps. So yeah, get yourself into that nice and relaxed state so that when you are in bed, and again, you could listen to some noise that will help you fall asleep. Some people like to listen to noise. Other people need it completely silent to go to sleep and stay asleep. And other people, either with, keep it black, dark in their room. They either have blackout curtains. I use an eye mask, things like that to help you stay asleep. So that's the nighttime. We're done with part 1. Part 2 now, amazing sleep, right? We have great quality, probably 80% or above. So why I'm saying that is, if you track your sleep, knowing your numbers is great. If you don't, in terms of, any tracking devices, anything like that on your phone, on your watch, anything, it's okay. You don't have to. Just know how you feel. So you can track how you feel. And if you're feeling rested, if you're feeling like you can take the day on, then you know that you had good quality sleep. And why am I saying quality, not quantity? Quantity is great. Quality and quantity together is a recipe for success. But you don't always want to rely on quantity. So you go to bed, say 9 o'clock, you get up at 5, but you're tossing and turning and you're not getting your deep sleep. you're getting more sleep, but in and out, interrupted, all of that. So then, yeah, your quality may be like 75, 60% at 8 hours of sleep. You're still feeling groggy, you can't think, all of that stuff. So brain fog, all of that. So quality over quantity, and then quality and quantity again is a recipe for success. You got great quantity of sleep, waking up, you're in bed, your alarm goes off, or if you're just kind of getting up as you feel rested, you are waking up and you're ready to take on the day. So before we get into what you can do in the morning, to get you set up for a great morning routine, there are ways of the reasons why, right? Why do we want to have a morning routine? Well, there are several ways, and they are all scientifically backed. So I'm going to go ahead and talk to you about several ways that that is the reason for having a morning routine. First of all, it prepares yourself for the rest of the day. If you wake up and you're feeling, if you wake up, say you put your alarm on at 6:30 and you have to be at work at 7:30 and it's a half hour away. You only have 30 minutes. Well, setting yourself up for an earlier wake up probably will help with that. But the other reason to have a morning routine when you do have a longer time is that you don't feel rushed. So when you have this morning routine, again, you're coming out of that, like, I don't want to say brain fog, but that sleepy state, right? You're coming out. You don't want to be jolted awake. That's just, then your cortisol levels just kind of go all wonky, and you get stressed very easily. So when you have a morning routine, which I'm going to go through in just a moment, it prepares yourself for the rest of the day. So when you feel like you're rushed, or lazy, you just don't feel like doing anything, expect that sensation to remain with you for throughout the day. So a morning routine can get you on track from the moment you wake up and put you in the right frame of mind. Second thing, and this is kind of like a no-brainer really, increases your productivity. When you have a morning routine, you'll find that you're able to focus and are more likely to finish tasks. The third thing is that you feel more in control. Now, I do love a good control feeling, so that will set you up for feeling a little bit more control in your life. So everything is chaotic around you. Things are happening left and right. When you have this morning routine, and routine is definitely needed to feel in control. So when you have many commitments, it could feel like you are rushing through one task to another, to another, to another. So when your day starts to control you rather than the other way around. So a morning routine may just cover that small part of your day, but it definitely helps, get you in a step forward to help you gain control. The next way that a morning routine helps is to lower stress. We're talking about stress here. So, stress often occurs when you feel like you lack enough time to complete everything. Whew, I can say I'm in this camp. From the time I wake up, now I do have a morning routine and it helps, but let me just say, from the time I wake up to the time I go to sleep, my calendar is jacked filled. And some of it, now let me say, when I fill up my calendar, some of it is not work. It is my morning routine. But of course, that morning routine is task getting done. It's things that you love to do, but you're doing because it is putting you in a better spot for the day. But again, when it's time management, right? So when you have so many things that go on in the day, it's like going one thing to the next, to the next, to the next, and you just feel like, oh my God, did I get everything? Like you feel like you just had a mental, I don't know, not breakdown, but just things just go 100 miles an hour. And some of those things can get lost, right? The balls can drop. And so when you have one thing after another, you feel like it's taking control of you and it's ramping up that stress. But when you have that morning routine, you always know exactly what you should be doing and what follows. For example, and I'll kind of put this again in what to do in a morning routine. But for example, and this has also helped some of my clients as well, working out in the morning is to me a little bit beneficial for the morning routine. It gets this day started in the right way, on the right track. And I'm not saying doing it after work is not beneficial as well. It definitely helps with the stress from the day and to just relieve, to get, just out of work mode. But again, when I work out, I'm also not only focusing on my weights and my reps and the sets and what I'm doing. But in between, I'm also kind of like, okay, well, I need to do this. So, yes, I'm still ruminating. Maybe that word is not the best word, but I'm still thinking about what is lying ahead for me. And this also helps. So, remember, movement helps your thoughts. So this also helps me kind of bite size these tasks, so to speak, these things I need to do and move them around like Tetris in my brain. Meaning like, okay, well, I have X, Y, and Z to do. I need to maybe I can do it at this time and then set myself up, prep this way. So you're talking to yourself, not out loud really. But in between sets, and I'm doing this so that I am setting myself up and prepping for the day versus the day getting a hold of me. So when you have a routine, you always know exactly what you should be doing and what follows. When you avoid stress, of course, you improve both your emotional and your physical health. For example, when obviously you remove stress from your life or minimize, I don't want to say remove, never remove stress. When you minimize stress, it will decrease your risk of developing depression and anxiety, along with illnesses like high blood pressure, that's a given, heart disease, and diabetes. So, of course, this is probably one of the main reasons why I set up a good morning routine. Because I don't want my day to get a hold of me or take control of me. I want to be able to take control of it and not get so stressed. Another reason why having a morning routine is very important is it develops healthy habits. Again, it may, be very, very tempting to hit the snooze button or stay in bed with your phone. So your phone is your alarm, let's say, and okay, I shut off my alarm, but my phone is in my hand. Now what am I doing? I'm laying in bed and I'm checking my text messages, I'm checking social media, and I'm scrolling. You could doom scroll as well. If there's a lot of negativity going on in this world, you could be laying in bed and the outside world is in your bed with you as soon as you wake up. So when you have a morning routine, and again, this starts from using an alarm clock, a regular alarm clock, and not hitting snooze, and yes, lying in bed for 5 minutes or so, kind of getting yourself awake, right? So that grogginess of a wakefulness, you're not jumping out of bed. You have this time because you set yourself up for enough time before you have to get ready. You leave about a minute to 5 minutes laying in bed, and you think about what, not every task that you need to do, because that's not the time to think about it, but a good thing to think about is how you want to show up for the day, who you want to be, how do you feel, what's going on. So it's not the task or the what's going to happen, is how you are going to feel and show up. That is a recipe. That is what you should be thinking about when you wake up. So when you have a routine, it is much easier to avoid these bad habits and stay on and develop healthy ones. Such healthy habits will carry over into the rest of your life. You may well find that you start eating better. And let's talk about this. This is the reason why I am actually focusing on a nighttime and a morning routine. When we all think about how to live a healthy life or thrive in life or energy or just getting rid of certain conditions and issues and things that we need to get either lower or increase, it all starts with a routine. So just think about this. Because you are already starting with a routine, a morning routine, setting yourself up, you will start in other ways, like eating better, exercising more often, wasting less time on your phone in general. So it is, and then that is what's going to carry on into a full on healthy and thriving life. Another way your having a morning routine could help you thrive in life is to boost your energy levels. So we talk about, that 1 minute to 5 minutes in bed, kind of getting out of that grogginess. Then you start to get into that morning routine. Your brain and your body knows what's going to happen. So what ends up happening, again, coming off of a great night's sleep, going into that morning routine, it will boost your energy level. And so then a great thing about a morning routine is that it could increase your energy, especially when you give yourself no time to be lazy, no time to lay in bed, no time to hit the snooze, no time to rush around, all of these things. And you could dedicate all your time to your scheduled activities, things that you want to do, things that are accomplishing, things that light you up, that make your day fun, that make you who you are. Another way that having a morning routine will help is to improve relationships. Yes. Just think of it this way. When we talk about stress in the mornings, you get up, you go and rush around, you're groggy, you're exhausted, you're tired already. You just woke up and you're tired. When you have a partner or even a family or in general, friends, if you are meeting up with them, it will improve your relationship with them. A morning routine also means that you're more accessible to your family, which is a critical thing to improving your relationships. So yes, your kids need to go to school, you got to get them out the door. Well, when you have your own morning routine, and that doesn't include getting your kids out the door, your able to get them out the door and be with them, right? So you do your thing, and then it's like, okay, mom or dad did their thing. Now we can get the kids out the door. And you are present with your kids. So when you are better organized, you have more spare time to spend with your families. So developing a morning routine is most important for improving relationships with the people you live with. Another thing that it says is when your family or roommates know your schedule for the morning, right, they can work around you. So you're not, again, this is your time. This is me time, right? This is your time. When your family or people that you live with know this, your time, they will schedule their own time so that, again, you're not inundated with the outside world. You're able to process things. You're able to get your, again, life together, doing things that light you up, doing things that get you motivated and moving and energized so that you can fill other people's cup and energize that. The other thing that it says here, and it's funny, there will be no disputes about who gets to use the bathroom and no problems with 2 or more people trying to share the kitchen at the same time. So this is another thing. If you have one bathroom and, you live in small areas, of course, having all of these people in one small area, you have a routine. I get in here to do my makeup and get ready for work at this time. Okay, that's your time. So morning routine helps others to know not to do the same at that time. Now, another reason that having a morning routine will help you thrive is that it combats forgetfulness and it improves your confidence. So, combating forgetfulness. When you have a routine, yes, your mind goes into autopilot, but you sharpen what you need to do. So when you take on a new task, what happens? You forget about it. It's foreign. So you have to do it over and over and over and over again to be repetitious with it so that it becomes second nature. And that helps your brain to sharpen, and you're not able to forget things. You're not able to forget to turn on the coffee because that's part of your morning routine. You're not able to forget to make your kids lunch because that's your part of your morning routine. Things like that, when it becomes a routine, it becomes that you are able to remember it easier. It also improves your confidence because when you are able to do things without forgetting, you are able to take on the day easier with confidence. It's not utilizing a lot of your brain capacity because you're doing things. And yes, when you first start this, and we'll talk about this in just a minute, when you first start this, one thing at a time. It's not like you should overhaul your morning and do 5 new things at once. Start with one thing, you learn that. Start with another thing, you add on, and then, you become then this person who will do this religiously, who will do this even when you travel, who will do this even when you're on vacation. Goodness, right? And it's not to say it's very rigid. You don't want to be rigid. Of course, you want to be a little bit flexible, which again I'll get to in just a second. But it's also saying that your brain and your body knows what's coming. So when that happens and you understand, you get into it, you get that confidence of I've achieved this. I can do this. So when you're calm and collected, you naturally feel more confidence. Plus, again, better time management will mean you accomplish more, which can also improve your self-esteem. Now, I talked about flexibility. That is another reason why having a morning routine helps. You learn to be flexible. Your morning routine is just the beginning of your schedule. It's normal, of course. Things won't always go exactly as planned or as you hoped. You'll need to adapt. So, sticking to your morning routine as often as possible is great, but you also need to learn to be flexible if something unexpected happens. Your dog is sick, your kid is sick, something happened to where it throws your morning routine off. That's fine. Learn to be flexible. It's not like you let yourself down because you didn't do one thing. Learn to be flexible. Maybe take that one thing and put it in the middle of your day. And I'm talking maybe meditation, things like that. Learning to adapt your morning routine around such events will train you to be flexible in other aspects of your life. So these things are many reasons why having a morning routine is so, so, so helpful. There are definitely more, but for now, let's go ahead and talk about 5 things that you can do in the morning to set yourself up for an amazing day. Now, a lot of these things I already do, but I've also coached my clients in some of these things and has helped them tremendously. So, number one is meditate. Of course, I said you can do that at night if it helps you kind of wind down. You'll do some nighttime sleeping meditation, but you can also do some awaken in the morning meditation, things that set yourself up for the day. What are you feeling in that morning? What's going on coming up in that day? If you have a presentation, you can meditate and visualize yourself having a perfect presentation. If you are feeling stuck in certain areas of your life, whether it be financial, relationships, certain things in that, you feel stuck, you can meditate towards that. And what that meditation, and maybe also gratitude, right? So that meditation and gratitude will also kind of kick up that energy and get you centered and focused for that day. Another thing that you can do in the morning is read. So, again, if this isn't something that you are doing in the evening, if you like doing it both evening and morning, that's great. What I will say is for your evening, try not to do things that make you think. That's a given, right? When you read things that are entertaining, entertainment purposes, things that are maybe fantasy, maybe kind of whimsical, maybe things that um, will not have your brain to either think about numbers or think about ways you can do things, like self-help books. Those are great in the morning. And those are great to kind of set yourself like, okay, I can do this today. That's one thing maybe I can do today. Those books are great. So read if you are not doing that as your nighttime routine, or you can do both. Number 3 is to work out, exercise, or move. I I think all 3 are great. Movement, of course, if it is nice out, and this will kind of go in with the sun in the morning as well, getting outside. Definitely not in the Midwest in the winter. I'll tell you that. But if you can walk outside, even better when the sun is coming up. Get that movement in. But I will also say exercise and working out is a great, great, great morning routine to get yourself set up for that day. It releases that dopamine, that oxytocin, that serotonin, feel good hormones, right? These things that you crave. That's why they become such obsessions and such passions for people like me. It's gets you going. It gets you energized. And again, if you need to do this at night, daytime schedule or your morning schedule, that's fine. Or that you feel that you can't get a good workout in the morning, that's fine as well. But at least move. Do some stretching, yoga, walking, something like that. Get your blood going to your brain. And that will definitely help as a morning routine. Another thing that you can do that people kind of shudder. So this is the fourth way. Ooh, cold shower. Yes. Yes. Obviously I fangirl over, Andrew Huberman and kind of listen to his talking and talks about and podcasts about morning routines and cold therapy. And it's not just him. I've just been listening incessantly about the benefits of cold therapy. And one great way that you can do it in the morning, because obviously, I don't think all of us have a cold plunge sitting in our bathroom. So the next best thing is a cold shower. I have been doing this, and this is amazing. And it actually helps me to, before I work out, so when I get ready to go to the gym, it's just funny. And I can't believe I'm letting you all know this, but I put on motivation, a workout motivation, and maybe I'll link it up in the show notes so you all have it as well. And it is, you know how I love, Jocko Willink and David Goggins. They have this compilation, or there is a compilation out, not them, but it is them motivating you to work out. I listen to this, and it's not just to work out, it's just to stay hard. It's just a motivation to get you going in the morning. I listen to this as I take a cold shower. Yes, it helps. And so when I started taking a cold shower, I couldn't even do 2 minutes. Now my 3 minute buzzer goes off, and I'm like, oh, I'm in here for 3 minutes already. You get used to it. So now I need something I can't do any longer. But I think, yes, I'm probably going to get a cold plunge. I'm saying that, but we'll see. It is definitely very, very, very beneficial. And how is it beneficial? Well, it bolsters immunity, it combats symptoms of depression, improves circulation, increases metabolism, and helps weight loss. It reduces inflammation and prevents muscle soreness. It does all of that. It does all of that. So for 3 minutes, and believe me, start slow. Start 1 minute. Do it if you need to. Start it with hot water and then go to cold, and just be there 1 minute. Kind of, you don't even need to get your whole head. It's up to your neck. And of course you need to kind of, turn around and all of that, so your whole body is. But do that. Start that at least 1 minute, and you will see the changes and differences. I guarantee it. And then 3 minutes, like me, is nothing right now. The fifth and final morning routine that you can add in is sunlight. I say this living in Indiana, near Indianapolis. Um, I say this for those who understand that winters are hard to get sun in the mornings, especially when you are doing this at 5 a.m., 6 a.m., even sometimes at 7 a.m. And I will also say this: I have experienced the seasonal affective disorder this past January. No, actually, the beginning of this month. So a couple weeks ago, I I I felt it. I felt off. I felt fatigue. I felt I just felt really, really, really bad, almost depressed, cried. And yes, some of it had to do, it was my mom's birthday this past Thursday, and what would have been her 81st. And so, yes, that kind of also was in my mind as well. But I'm not going to say, I mean, last Thursday I was better. I was fine. I don't know, maybe I released it, but it definitely like took a hold of me. So what did I do? I ordered a sun lamp and used it. And of course, you have to obviously be careful with the sun lamps as well because they are UVB and or UV rays, and you don't want it too much on you. But it does help. It helped tremendously, and of course, then it became sunny after that too. But it's great to have for those dark days, the endless, and it was literally 10 days or so without any sun. And I believe I heard somebody told me that this was the longest in practically several, like maybe 10 years or several years or so. It helps. So if you can't get out in the sun, right? If you can't walk in the sun, get a sun lamp. Having that sun in the morning and having it as a routine every morning, maybe 30 minutes, definitely helps. And try not to wear sunglasses when you are out in the sun for a long period, or have it when you are out in the sun for a long period of time. But when you're out there and you're, first off, make sure that your eyes don't look at the sun totally, but make sure your eyes are adjusting to the sunlight. So you're not shielding them right away, because your eyes, your retina, all of that's your gateway into the vitamin D into your bloodstream and your skin, of course, as well. So those are the 5 ways you could start your morning routine. And again, you do not have to do all 5 at once. So pick one that you could start off with. If you're already doing something, one of these 5, or maybe your own, I don't know. If you are already doing something on your own that is a morning routine, maybe add one of these things and see how that feels. But I would love to hear from you all and know what your own morning routine is, or how you are setting yourself up for a morning routine to help you thrive in life. Again, I hope this has been very, very helpful. When you have a nighttime routine and a morning routine, it definitely sets yourself up for a positive, productive, and amazing day. So please do share this episode around. Also, hit that subscribe button or follow wherever you are seeing or hearing this podcast. And I do wish you well. And again, you are worth it.